Welcome to Malice and Mystery, where shadows whisper and the unknown beckons. Enter a realm of spine-tingling horror, eerie mysteries, and chilling tales. From real-life paranormal encounters to unsolved enigmas and bone-chilling urban legends, we bring you the darkest stories from the depths of the unknown. Subscribe if you dare, and remember, some mysteries are best left unsolved. The Smurl Haunting, a terrifying true story from Pennsylvania Paranormal Encounters. In the quiet town of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, nestled along the banks of the Susquehanna River, stands a modest ranch-style home that would become forever etched in paranormal history. The year was 1986 when Jack and Janet Smurl, along with their 4 children, moved into what appeared to be an ordinary residence at 236 Chase Street. Little did they know that this seemingly peaceful neighborhood would soon transform into the epicenter of one of America's most documented and terrifying hauntings. The Smurl family, like many others in their community, were regular working-class people. Jack worked as a sales manager while Janet managed their household. Their children ranged from teenagers to young adults, creating a typical suburban dynamic that masked the extraordinary events about to unfold. The house itself, built in the 1950s, seemed unremarkable upon first inspection. Its single-story design featured 3 bedrooms, a basement, and the usual amenities expected of homes in its era. Neighbors described the area as friendly and safe, with children playing freely in the streets and families gathering for community events. Yet beneath this veneer of normalcy lay something far more sinister. A presence that would challenge everything the Smurls believed about reality and force them to confront forces beyond human understanding. What began as subtle disturbances would escalate into a full-blown supernatural siege, drawing national attention and leaving an indelible mark on paranormal research. Number 1. The initial disturbances and growing fear. The Smurl family's nightmare began innocuously enough during their first summer in the house. At first, it was merely the sound of footsteps echoing through empty hallways late at night, or the sensation of being watched when no one else was home. Janet, particularly sensitive to her surroundings, often felt an oppressive weight in certain rooms, especially the basement, where the air seemed unnaturally cold regardless of the season. These early manifestations were easy to dismiss as the settling of an older home or overactive imaginations. But as autumn approached, the disturbances intensified dramatically. Jack became increasingly concerned when he discovered deep scratches appearing on his car's exterior overnight. Despite parking it securely in their locked garage, the family dog, usually fearless, began exhibiting strange behavior, refusing to enter certain parts of the house and whimpering uncontrollably at nothing visible. Most disturbing were the inexplicable odors that permeated the home, the unmistakable stench of sulfur that would appear without warning, making their eyes water and throats burn. These foul smells seemed to concentrate around Janet, following her from room to room like an unwelcome shadow. As weeks turned into months, the physical manifestations grew more aggressive. Doors would slam shut violently, even when there was no breeze. Objects began moving on their own, sometimes disappearing completely, only to reappear in impossible locations. The family's youngest daughter reported seeing dark figures standing at the foot of her bed, while the eldest claimed to hear whispered threats in her ear while trying to sleep. The once peaceful home had transformed into a battleground between the living and something decidedly not. Janet found herself at the center of these escalating phenomena. She began experiencing severe headaches and nausea whenever the activity peaked, and several times woke up to find herself paralyzed, unable to move while feeling an invisible presence pressing down on her chest. The family's attempts to rationalize these events failed as the occurrences became too frequent and too violent to ignore. Their initial skepticism gave way to genuine fear as they realized they were dealing with something far beyond their understanding or control. Number 2. The breaking point and seeking help. The haunting reached its terrifying climax one fateful December night in 1987. When the supernatural forces inhabiting the Smurl home unleashed their most malevolent assault yet, Janet awoke to find herself levitating above her bed, held aloft by an unseen force, while a chorus of demonic voices screamed profanities in her ears. Her desperate cries for help brought Jack running, only to witness his wife suspended in midair, her body contorted unnaturally as if gripped by invisible hands. The bedroom walls oozed a thick, black substance that smelled of rotten eggs, and the temperature plummeted to freezing despite the home's heating system running at full blast. This incident marked a turning point for the Smurl family. No longer able to endure the relentless terror alone, they reached out to Father Augustine, a local Catholic priest known for his work in spiritual counseling. The priest arrived to find the entire family huddled together in their living room, visibly shaken and exhausted from months of sleepless nights. During his initial assessment, Father Augustine witnessed several disturbing phenomena firsthand. Religious icons spontaneously overturned, crucifixes bending as if subjected to immense heat, and a persistent feeling of evil that made his skin crawl. Recognizing the severity of the situation, he immediately contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators whose expertise in demonic cases was unmatched. The Warrens arrived at the Smurl residence accompanied by a team of researchers and clergy members. Their investigation revealed chilling evidence. Audio recordings captured demonic voices speaking in multiple languages, including ancient tongues none of the family understood. Thermal imaging equipment detected humanoid figures moving through walls, while electromagnetic field detectors registered off-the-chart readings throughout the house. Most disturbing were the EVP sessions, during which clear responses to their questions emerged from static-filled recordings, often threatening harm to the family and mocking their attempts at intervention. The Warrens' findings confirmed what the Smurls had feared all along. They were dealing with a powerful demonic entity, rather than a typical ghostly presence. This conclusion prompted an immediate escalation in their response strategy. Father Augustine performed multiple blessings and attempted exorcisms, while the Warrens coordinated with other paranormal experts to document and combat the supernatural activity. The family installed surveillance cameras throughout the house, capturing hours of footage showing objects moving independently and shadowy figures manifesting in various rooms. These recordings, combined with the physical evidence collected during their investigations, created an irrefutable case that transcended mere superstition or psychological explanation. Number 3. The siege intensifies and media attention. As word of the Smurl hauntings spread through West Pittston, the family found themselves caught between mounting supernatural attacks and growing public scrutiny. Local newspapers began running sensational headlines about Pennsylvania's most haunted house, while national media outlets dispatched reporters to cover the unfolding drama. The constant presence of journalists and curious onlookers added another layer of stress to the family's already precarious situation. Neighbors, once friendly and supportive, began crossing the street to avoid contact with the Smurls, fearful that the evil might somehow spread to their homes. The supernatural activity responded to this increased attention with unprecedented ferocity. During live television interviews conducted inside the home, equipment would malfunction without explanation. Cameras would suddenly cut out. Microphones would pick up distorted voices, and lights would flicker erratically. Several reporters experienced personal encounters with the entity, reporting feelings of being touched or pushed by invisible hands while touring the property. One particularly harrowing incident saw a news crew's van spontaneously catch fire in the driveway, despite having been inspected and declared mechanically sound just hours before. The Warrens and their team documented over 200 distinct paranormal events during their extended investigation, each more alarming than the last. Family members reported waking to find their beds soaked with ice-cold water, though no leaks could be found. Religious texts left open on tables would have pages torn out, or words crossed out in blood-like substance. Perhaps most disturbing were the instances of apparent possession. Both Janet and their teenage daughter exhibited periods of altered consciousness, speaking in voices not their own and demonstrating knowledge of events they couldn't possibly have witnessed. Despite the overwhelming evidence and expert testimony supporting the family's claims, skeptics emerged in force. Local authorities received numerous calls from individuals accusing the Smurls of orchestrating an elaborate hoax for financial gain or media attention. Some neighbors suggested the family was simply seeking attention or using the haunting story to explain away domestic issues. The pressure mounted as the family struggled to maintain their privacy, while fighting against both supernatural and human adversaries. Their children withdrew from school activities, afraid of ridicule or worse, while Jack and Janet faced increasing difficulty maintaining their employment due to the constant disruptions and media circus surrounding their home. Number 4. The final confrontation and aftermath. The culmination of the Smurl haunting came during a dramatic series of exorcisms conducted over 3 consecutive nights in early 1988, led by Father Augustine and supported by the Warrens team. The ritual began with traditional prayers and blessings, but quickly escalated as the entity responded with unprecedented violence. The entire house shook violently, windows shattered without cause, and a deafening roar filled the air as if the very foundations were being torn apart. Family members reported seeing multiple shadowy figures manifest simultaneously, their forms twisting and contorting in impossible ways across the walls and ceilings. During the final night's exorcism, a breakthrough occurred that would change the course of paranormal investigation. The Warrens introduced a new technique involving synchronized prayer circles and focused intention, combined with specific sacred relics brought from the Vatican. As dawn approached, the entity's presence seemed to weaken, its manifestations growing less intense and more sporadic. The crucial moment came when Father Augustine, holding a particular relic never before used in such circumstances, commanded the spirit to reveal its true nature. In response, the air filled with a chilling voice speaking in perfect Latin, confessing to centuries of malevolent activity in the area, dating back to colonial times. The aftermath of the exorcism left the Smurl family physically and emotionally drained, but finally free from their supernatural tormentor. However, their ordeal had lasting consequences. Medical examinations revealed that Janet had developed chronic health issues, likely triggered by prolonged exposure to extreme stress and possible environmental factors related to the haunting. The children required extensive counseling to cope with their experiences, and the family dynamic shifted permanently under the weight of shared trauma. Financially devastated by medical bills and lost income, they were forced to sell their home at a significant loss. The Smurl case revolutionized paranormal investigation methods, leading to the development of new protocols for documenting and addressing supernatural phenomena. The techniques pioneered during their exorcism, particularly the use of specific relics and synchronized spiritual practices, became standard procedure in similar cases worldwide. More importantly, the case established legal precedents regarding property disclosure laws concerning paranormal activity, influencing real estate practices across several states. The Smurls' experience demonstrated that supernatural encounters could have measurable long-term impacts on mental and physical health, prompting further research into the physiological effects of extreme paranormal exposure. Number 5. Life after the haunting, a legacy of shadows. Years after the exorcism, the Smurl family continues to grapple with the lingering effects of their supernatural ordeal. While the immediate threat has passed, the psychological scars remain deeply etched in their lives. Janet, now in her 70s, still experiences occasional panic attacks triggered by certain sounds or smells reminiscent of those terrifying nights. Her relationship with organized religion has evolved into a complex tapestry of faith and skepticism, as she struggles to reconcile her Catholic upbringing with the unfathomable evil she encountered. The family maintains a strict routine of spiritual protection practices learned during their ordeal, viewing them as necessary safeguards rather than mere superstition. Their children, now adults with families of their own, carry forward the legacy of their childhood experiences in varied ways. To have become actively involved in paranormal research, contributing to academic studies on the psychological impact of supernatural encounters. Another has chosen a career in mental health counseling, specializing in trauma recovery for individuals who've experienced similar phenomena. The youngest, however, remains profoundly affected, avoiding discussions about the past and steering clear of any involvement in paranormal matters. This divergence in coping mechanisms reflects the complex spectrum of responses to extreme supernatural trauma. The original house on Chase Street, after changing hands multiple times, eventually became the subject of urban legend. Subsequent owners reported minor disturbances, though nothing approaching the intensity experienced by the Smurls. Paranormal investigators continue to visit the property, drawn by its notorious reputation and hoping to capture evidence of residual activity. Local historians have incorporated the Smurl haunting into their tours of West Pittston, presenting it alongside other documented supernatural events in the region. The case remains a cornerstone of paranormal studies, frequently referenced in academic papers and documentaries exploring the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and the supernatural. For the broader paranormal research community, the Smurl haunting represents both a cautionary tale and a milestone achievement. It demonstrated the critical importance of multidisciplinary approaches in investigating supernatural phenomena, combining theological expertise with scientific methodology and psychological support. The case files, now preserved in multiple research institutions, serve as a comprehensive resource for understanding the progression and resolution of extreme hauntings. The techniques developed during the Smurl exorcism have been refined and adapted, forming the basis of modern paranormal intervention protocols used worldwide. The hauntings' impact extends beyond individual experiences to influence cultural perceptions of the supernatural. It contributed to a shift in how society views claims of paranormal activity, encouraging more nuanced discussions that balance skepticism with open-minded inquiry. The Smurl case helped establish guidelines for responsible media coverage of supernatural events, emphasizing the need to prioritize the well-being of those involved over sensationalism. Today, the story serves as a testament to human resilience in the face of unimaginable terror, while also highlighting the enduring mysteries that lie beyond our current understanding of reality. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you found this video intriguing. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell to stay updated with more mysterious tales. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive and stay cautious.